folks, I'm Esther Emery. I'm the homestead wife over at the DIY and homesteading channel Fauchematic Off Grid. Today you're on my personal channel, and on Thursdays I like to just sit and tell a story. Thought we needed something a little lighter around here this week, so I thought I'd share with you about the time that a Robert Redford lookalike sat in my living room and invited me to do a reality TV pilot. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, we had a family in a situation that reality TV producers are interested in, because we were indeed the fools who made a drastic move right from the city, the Boston suburbs where we lived at the time, to a bare piece of land in the mountains in Idaho. Now, as we were planning this move, a friend of a friend, various connections, got us connected with a television company. And what I didn't know at the time is that the people who come up with these ideas for reality TV shows are not necessarily connected to a network, although they can be. It is possible for an independent production company to come up with a show and then shop it to networks. And that's what was going on in this situation. Now, not only did we have a kind of exciting idea for our lives, it was not such a long shot for our family to imagine that we would make our living working in entertainment, because, to be honest, we always had. I had never at that point been on this side of the camera, but I had my entire adult life had made the majority of my income working as a stage manager or director or various odd jobs around the theater industry, and so had my husband. So for us, the idea of producing content that would entertain people and have that be the way we made a living was not such a stretch. However, I should be clear, it really wasn't fitting very well with our intentions of leaving everything behind and having a different lifestyle. But let's go back to the Robert Redford lookalike. So we were asked if it was possible for this scouting, they called it scouting, visit to occur, if it was all right for these people to come and visit us. And we said, of course, yes. We tend to leave doors open where they're open. And we just were so amazed and tickled and happy when we saw this fellow, because he was completely Montana and completely LA. Corduroy jacket with the elbow patches, and what my husband put as impossibly red hair. Suspiciously red hair. He said suspiciously red hair. And really just a wonderful pitch, a really good pitch. And to be honest, Nick and I have a lot of awareness of how the entertainment industry works. And yet also, we are the kind of people who would tell the stories of our lives and make that public, which I hope is clear to anybody who's looking at our other YouTube channel. So it was a completely plausible idea to us that we would move out to the woods and show people what our lives were like and have that be something that we did. Well, the scouting event went well enough that there was a second visit planned, this time with cameras. Well, at that point, I was 7 months pregnant and the weather had just changed. So we had gone from a spring and being, 4 or 5 months pregnant in the spring to being 7 months pregnant in the summer. And at that point, I was not so happy about the idea of cameras coming into my life, and I believe rightfully so. I had nerves when the cameras were there, and I also just felt like the least attractive, least engaging, least intelligent possible version of myself. But we went ahead anyway, and they took video of us going through our lives and some interview and some discussion of what we were doing and why we were doing it. And I could tell that they were flailing a little bit to try and make their show concept out of us. And yet clearly we were interesting, engaging people. So it might go, it just might go. Well, this brings us to the point at which I received the clearest commissioning I have ever received in my life. And what, in fact, I come back to whenever I feel like I am not clear on what I'm doing with my writing or my YouTube channel or just myself, what I'm doing with my public life, I always remember these words that were said to me. The main producer and I were sitting together at the end of a few days of filming, and I was trying to get a sense from him how he thought it had gone. He was going to make a sizzle reel out of the material and shop it out to networks, but I could tell that he wasn't completely sure at this point that it would go. And I was trying to get a sense of why that might be. He said, "Esther, you're a little deep for TV." And this is the conclusion of my life. I pray that that will be written on my gravestone. Esther Emery, and hopefully a very, very long life, a little deep for TV. And that is my story of my first experience with reality television. Our sizzle reel was shopped out to networks, but for all the best possible reasons, it was not picked up by a network. And if you want to watch about my life, you have to do so from my little iPhone videos that I post on YouTube, because that is the only channel that is available. Although we do our best to be generous with our experiences and our stories in hopes of sharing inspiration and encouragement with all of you. So that's my reality TV story. Hope you got a kick out of it today. If you have a Robert Redford lookalike come sit down in your living room, watch out. All right, I'm Esther Emery. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
You better grow some of those sugar snap peas.
That's what you think? People should grow some?
Yeah, you can pick them and eat them.